Just 5 months after accusing Brussels of trying to rig the British election and threatening to pull the plug on our security relationship, Theresa May softened her tone in Florence, but what did she really mean? What she said: "We want to be your strongest friend and partner as the EU and UK thrive side by side." Prime Minister Theresa May unveils her plans for Brexit and EU in speech in Florence, Italy. PM Theresa May answers tough questions after Brexit speech in Florence, Italy. What it means: a direct plea not to punish Britain for leaving and not to be scared about the prospect of us going. Threats to undercut the EU by slashing tax rates and regulation are gone and have been replaced with warm words about partnership. What she said: "The United Kingdom is unconditionally committed to maintaining Europe's security." What it means: even if the UK crashes out without a deal, cross-border cooperation on terror and crime fighting will continue forever, but this could have been an ace for Britain to play. Brussels was angered by previous threats to pull the plug on intelligence sharing, but after a spate of terror attacks across Britain and Europe, Mrs May has U-turned on her menacing hints. What she said: ex-UKIP leader Nigel Farage says Theresa May has no vision after Brexit speech officially announcing an implementation phase. The PM said, "The framework for this strictly time-limited period would be the existing structure of EU rules and regulations." What it means: for 2 more years after Brexit Day, Britain will continue to be ruled over by EU judges, pay into the EU budget and crucially have to accept freedom of movement by EU migrants coming to Britain until at least 2021. What she said: "I do not want our partners to fear that they will need to pay more or receive less over the remainder of the current budget plan." What it means: money. The PM is finally publicly accepting Britain will have to pay a Brexit divorce bill and hoping to curry favour with the 27 other EU nations by not leaving them out of pocket. Honouring commitments made in the current EU budget plan could mean a £25 billion price tag for Britain. What she said: Philip Hammond backs Theresa May's decisive Brexit intervention for businesses. "We would want to make an ongoing contribution to cover our fair share of the costs." What it means: more money. Britain wants to continue paying into the EU budget for decades to come for science and research projects and shared projects such as Europol, the EU-wide crime-fighting agency. But Mrs May left this vague: a battle for another day. What she said: "We can't leave the EU and have everything stay the same. Life for us will be different." What it means: the PM tried to scotch withering criticism from the EU that Britain wants to have its cake and eat it. She reaffirmed: "We will leave the single market and customs union and are seeking a bespoke model rather than one based on Norway or Canada's relationship with the EU." What she said: "I want the UK courts to be able to take into account the judgments of the European Court of Justice with a view to ensuring consistent interpretation." What it means: this is a big offer to try break the deadlock over the rights of EU citizens staying in the UK after Brexit. While we won't be ruled by EU judges after we leave, Mrs May is prepared to keep an eye on their rulings. The government want to set up a new body, an appropriate mechanism, so British judges can liaise with EU judges when there are disputes, but the EU will fight this tooth and nail. Of what she said: "The eyes of the world are on us. If our collective endeavours in these negotiations were to prove insufficient to reach an agreement, it would be a failure in the eyes of history." What it means: Mrs May used to say no deal was better than a bad deal, but yesterday she warned the EU that they also will lose out if talks collapse. And it will not just be the current generation that will suffer, but future generations will be hit as well.